Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Okay, good morning, students. As per the last discussion, we have completed spectroscopy as well as the nanomaterial. Nanomaterial materials are already given to you. According to the syllabus, you have to prepare for your examination. There is nothing to understand. You have to remember the few of the terminologies as well as the process of synthesis of the nanomaterials and their applications. Okay, so but in NMR little bit more I have to teach you as per the last discussion, that is your chemical shift and shielding and deshielding. Okay, so I was thinking that it will not come in your examination, but after the discussion with few faculty members, it should be taught in the class. So introduction to electrochemistry, what are the topics we'll discuss, and according to your syllabus. Okay, so let me share the whiteboard. Okay, so just for example, CS3, CS3, CS2OH. This is your ethanol. How many peaks you will expect for this compound in NMR? How many peaks you will expect for this? How many signals? How many signals or peaks you will expect for this compound in NMR spectrum?
Three, ma'am. Ma'am, three.
There are 3 signals. And one for this one for this one, another one for this one. Okay, so the peaks this is for OH, CS2, this is for CS3. So the area is different for each of the protons, and the values are also different for each of the protons. Like you are putting a radio frequency region, means like you are irradiating your compound ethanol in radio frequency, and your protons, the methyl proton, the CH2 protons and the OH protons, they are observing in different fields, because you are applying magnetic field. Here you are applying magnetic field, okay, and in this field the protons are tiny magnets, and they have also their own magnetic field, okay. Either they will oppose or they will reinforce, means they are along the direction, the applied magnetic field along the applied magnetic field, or opposite to the applied magnetic field. If it is opposite to the magnetic field, then it is called shielding, and if it is not it is along the applied field, it is called deshielding. Let me clear first. The field experienced by the hydrogen nuclei in different from the applied field, the effect of orbital electron and the strength of the applied magnetic field is called the magnetic shielding, okay. That is true, which is opposite. Okay, so that is called shielding and this is called deshielding. So here I want to say you, there is a shift. The field experienced by the hydrogen nuclei is not as same as that of the same nuclei in CH2 or in OH group. It follows that identical hydrogen nuclei in ethyl alcohol molecule are in different chemical surroundings, have different field, different absorption field, okay. So that is called chemical shift. The difference in the absorption of the proton with respect to the reference peak is called chemical shift. So first of all, you should remember we are expecting 3 signals. Yes, we are expecting 3 signals, and we are getting also 3 signals because of the 3 different chemical environment. Okay, so that's why we are getting 3 different peaks. But why these 3 different peaks? Why not 4? These 3 different peaks due to the chemical shift and spin-spin coupling. But here in your syllabus, no spin-spin coupling we are not explaining. We are only discussing chemical shift. So what is that chemical shift? Okay. So first of all, you remember you are using a deuterated solvent to record your NMR spectrum, because you are identifying the number of protons present in your chemical compound. You are identifying the protons, okay. Here we are only discussing proton NMR spectroscopy, so we are discussing the identification of protons present in your chemical compound. So here we are using a deuterated solvent, okay. Deuterated means deuterated solvent. Just for example, methanol. Methanol is deuterated or not? What do you mean by deuterated solvent? Deuterated solvent means in the solvent molecule, the protons are replaced by deuterium. Okay, so if it is CD3OD, then it is deuterated solvent of methanol. Okay, similarly, CHCl3, that is a chloroform. If you are taking CdCl3, then it is a deuterated solvent of chloroform. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So why we are taking deuterated solvent? Because we are searching for the protons. If we add methanol instead of CD3OD, then we are putting extra protons into the compound. So it is very difficult to identify which proton is from the solvent and which proton is from your organic compound. Is it clear why we are taking deuterated solvent? Is it clear? Please respond.
Yes,
Otherwise, it seems like I'm teaching to my laptop. Okay. So we are taking deuterated solvent to just to know the protons present in our compound, not in the solvent. Okay. So again, we are taking a reference compound that is called TMS. Tetra methyl silane, tetramethyl silane, CH3CH3CH3CH3. So this is the reference compound. With respect, with reference to this reference compound, we are determining the shift or the position of the proton present in our compound, that is called chemical shift. This is your reference compound. Reference compound in, like when you will record your NMR spectrum of your compound, then TMS is the reference compound. With respect to that, the peak, the difference in the absorption peak of the proton with respect to the reference peak is called the chemical shift. Okay, so chemical shift is delta, that is equal to HS minus H reference divided by H reference into 10 to the power 6 ppm. Okay, so HS is the position of your sample peak of the proton. Actually here H reference is the position of the reference peak. Do you understand?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
H reference is the reference substance, is your TMS, and HS is your sample. Since the field strength is linearly related to frequency, so sigma is equal to mu s minus mu reference divided by mu reference into 10 to the power 6 ppm. So this is the reference resonance frequency. And here it is the sample reference frequency. Okay, so sigma ppm is equal to into 10 to the power 6 divided by oscillator frequency. Okay, so the chemical shift may also be described in terms of tau scale. Tau is equal to 10 minus sigma. Okay, it can also be expressed in tau scale. Okay. Is it clear? Then I'll tell you what is shielding and deshielding. Is it clear? Then I'll discuss with you shielding and deshielding. I'm sharing. Is it clear? Whatever I have taught till now.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm sharing
Yes,
the
ma'am.
screen from the internet. It will be a good example. You can understand well. See this one. See chemical shift. This is TMS, tetramethylsilane. That is your like this one. Is it like are you able to see my arrow?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is TMS. That will be considered as 0. Okay, that will be considered as 0. From that, the shift to from that you where your sample is observing, the position of your sample is called the chemical shift. Is it clear? Like from the reference point, like just for example, you are participating in a running competition. Okay, 6-meter running or like that. So from the boundary line up to that up to that point where it is around 600 meter, up to that you do all the students cannot reach at the same time. If all the students, means 10 students are participating in running, so all of them cannot reach to the end point at the same time. Some of will reach at 10 minutes late, some 5 minutes late. Someone will be more than if it the fixed time, before the fixed time they will reach. So depends on the strength of that particular student. Is it clear? But the reference point is same for everyone. Okay, but the position of the student, first, second, third student will be different. Similarly, the reference point is TMS. From that, your position of your peak, like CH3, CH2, OH peak, CH2 peak, and CH3 peak, all are different. So this is called the chemical shift of that particular proton of OH, maybe CH2, maybe CH3. Is it making some sense?
Ma'am, can you once again explain?
एक्चुअली आप लोग रनिंग कंपटीशन में पार्टिसिपेट किया है, ठीक है? एक बाउंड्री तो रहता है ना, जहां से आप शुरू करोगे, कहां पे एंड करोगे, है कि नहीं?
यस मैम.
तो जहां से आप शुरू करोगे, ये हुआ आपका टीएमएस, टेट्रामिथाइलसिलेन, जहां पे ये रेफरेंस, जहां से आप 0 से आप शुरू करोगे, लेकिन आप पहुंचोगे कहां तक? 600 मीटर. उससे आगे भी कोई जा सकता है, लेकिन उतना चाहिए मिनिमम. तो इसीलिए हम लोग का CDCl3 का 7.5 लाइक 7.3 इस टाइप पे, मतलब ये आपका है ड्यूटरेटेड सॉल्वेंट. आप कोई भी ड्यूटरेटेड सॉल्वेंट ले सकते हो डिपेंडिंग ऑन द सॉल्युबिलिटी ऑफ योर कंपाउंड. अगर आपका कंपाउंड CDCl3 में सॉल्युबल नहीं है, आप CDCl3 लेने से कुछ फायदा नहीं है, बिकॉज इट हैज टू बी अ होमोजेनियस सॉल्यूशन, देन ओनली यू कैन गेट द स्पेक्ट्रम. तो आप टीएमएस से शुरू करोगे, टीएमएस को 0 लेना है, 0 से लेकर जहां पहुंचा आपका पीक, उसको आप बोलोगे केमिकल शिफ्ट. शिफ्ट हुआ ना, समझ में आया?
मैम वो जो जहां पहुंचा पी, मतलब मैम पसंद नहीं.
जहां पहुंचा मतलब आपका पीक, मतलब 5 में पहुंचा या 6 में या 9 में या 10 में, कहां तक तो आपको पता नहीं है ना.
ओके
Somewhere you will get in the scale.
यस मैम, यस मैम. हाँ, understood.
That is called a chemical shift from 0 to 5. 0, क्योंकि सारे कंपाउंड का तो जो CH3, CH2, OH, सारे प्रोटॉन्स आर नॉट सेम, डिफरेंट केमिकल एनवायरनमेंट है, तो डिफरेंट पोजीशन में वो पहुंचेंगे ना.
Yes ma'am.
All are protons, but they will have different field strength because of the different chemical environment. Is it clear?
Yes ma'am.
Then here it is. You can check this site. It is a good one. Chemistry Libre texts. Okay. So then shielding and deshielding. Okay, what do you mean by shielding and what do you mean by deshielding? Let me check. Here you can see. See here. You know, all the protons, they have also their own magnetic field. They are tiny magnets. So they have their own magnetic field, and you are putting external magnetic field B0 in the arrow direction you see upward. Okay, and when the proton is circulating in like it is having its own magnetic field, then you can see the magnetic field in like the applied magnetic field and the induced magnetic field by the proton, they are in the same direction. Okay, they are in the same direction, they are not opposing to each other, they are just aligned in the same direction. That's why it is called de-shielded, means the same like the applied magnetic field plus the magnetic field like generated by the proton is added to the like to the proton, which is experienced, the magnetic field which will be experienced by the proton is the additional magnetic field which is generated by its own magnetic field. Do you understand? The proton, here the proton, what it will like it should get the magnetic field what we are applying, but it will get some extra because the magnetic field generated by it will add on to the applied magnetic field. Is it clear? So that's why it is called de-shielded. That's why it is called de-shielded, or it is called de-shielding. Do you understand or not? अरे आप लोग कुछ बोलोगे नहीं तो मुझे क्या समझ में आएगा? नील जैन, नील,
यस मैम,
आपको समझ में आया मैं क्या बोल रही हूँ?
यस मैम,
ना कुछ सेंस नहीं है ये बात, मतलब कुछ भी सेंटेंस का कुछ भी समझ में नहीं
समझ में आ रहा है,
आ रहा है ना?
Yes,
आपका जो जनरेट हो रहा है फील्ड, प्रोटॉन का भी तो एक टाइनी मैग्नेट है ना, इसका एक इलेक्ट्रॉन है, तो ये भी अपना इलेक्ट्रॉन भी अपना मतलब जैसे इट्स ओन सर्किट में क्या बोलते हैं रोटेट करता है, सर्कुलेट करता है, तो इसका ओन मैग्नेटिक फील्ड है, एंड यू आर आल्सो अप्लाइंग सम मैग्नेटिक फील्ड दैट इज B0. सो B0 plus the magnetic field generated by the proton that will be experienced by the proton, so it is called de-shielded. Okay, de-shielded, so the proton will absorb at higher delta value, that is called downfield or de-shielding. Okay, and when it is opposite to that, the proton like de-shielding, I'll show somewhere if it is here. It is not, but sometimes what happened, the field experienced by the proton will oppose to the applied magnetic field, and the field which should be experienced by the particular proton will be less than the applied magnetic field, that is called shielding. Okay, क्योंकि एक शील्ड बना के रखा है, आपका प्रोटॉन को जितना पहुंचना चाहिए मैग्नेटिक फील्ड उतना पहुंच नहीं रहा है, सो दैट इज कॉल्ड शील्डिंग. और ये मतलब जितना में लाइक ऑब्जर्व करना चाहिए उससे कम में करेगा, उसको बोलते हैं अपफील्ड और हाईली शील्डेड प्रोटॉन. डू यू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज शील्डिंग एंड व्हाट इज डिशील्डिंग?
यस मैम.
If it is in the same direction, it is called de-shielding, okay, or reinforcing, and if it is opposite direction, then it is opposing and shielding. Okay, so chemical shift is also affected by shielding and de-shielding. What is chemical shift? The difference between the chemical like the peak position from the reference peak is called chemical shift. And what is reference peak? Reference peak is taken as 0, that is the peak position of tetramethylsilane. Is it correct? Is it clear? If you will get your question in your examination, can you answer it?
Yes ma'am.
Okay then. So that's all for NMR, and already we have okay. Stop. So that's all for NMR, and now we'll start electrochemistry. Let me share the Do you have the syllabus, electrochemistry syllabus? I think already have shared. Electrochemistry. So electrochemistry, in electrochemistry, what are the topics we have to discuss? That first you please note it down, then accordingly one by one we'll clear. Some of the parts I'll teach you and some of the parts you have to teach you have to learn yourself. The important part I'll teach you and other parts which you can study yourself that I'll leave. Okay, just for example, transport number, determination by Hitrop's method, that you will learn yourself. There is nothing to teach. Actually, transport number of cation, you know, charge carried by the cation divided by total charge carried by the cation and anion together. That is U plus divided by U plus and U minus. This much only you have to remember. Then the important part is types of electrode. Here, electrodes and cell potential, Nernst equation, problems related to Nernst equation, application of Nernst equation. So up to this I'll teach. And Frost diagram also I'll teach you and its application. But batteries, fuel cell, battery and corrosion. So these three things I'll tell you. Like I think in that PPT you can check, all are there. So from that you will just read it. Nothing is it should not be taught, but if you want I can just brief it. Okay. But the important part is Nernst equation, problems related to Nernst equation and application of Nernst equation and Frost diagram. Okay, so do you understand which part I'll teach you and which part you will learn yourself? So corrosion, I think I'll give you as the assignment, so it will be better and you people will submit that. A theoretical part, what is corrosion, what are different types of corrosion, okay, and corrosion and fuel cell battery. So these three I'll give you as assignment and you will complete them.
Ma'am, can you send the PPT of corrosion and fuel cell?
Corrosion and fuel cell, I think electrochemistry PPT I have already shared. Why you have not saved? Suprasad.
Yes, ma'am.
Why you have not saved before?
Ma'am, I have to check, ma'am. I didn't remember.
Then why you are not checking and you are putting pressure on me? Huh? You are thinking that I'm your teacher, then I have to give you everything. You are just spoon feeding. Huh? Just
Yes,
like
ma'am,
school student.
I have.
You are just like a school student. Just class 1 and 2 students, everything will be given. They will just read and write, and then at the time of examination, they will produce. That's all. They will not learn from themselves. Then it is just like, it is not good actually. Okay, it is not a good practice. Anyway, so I have already shared corrosion, battery, fuel cell, So these three, I'll just brief, but you have to learn. But other part where you cannot read yourself, you can do anything. But I'm saying that I should teach you like those things, which because you do not know how it will be asked in the examination. So in case of corrosion, little bit I'm telling you what you have to read. So first of all, what is corrosion? Okay, so the unwanted destruction of a metallic substance due to the chemical or electrochemical attack of the environment is called corrosion. Corrosion is the opposite term of, who can say? Who can say what is the opposite term of corrosion? What is the opposite term of corrosion? What is the opposite term of corrosion?
Preservation.
Preservation. See, first of all, from the oxides and other like composites of the metals, we are getting the pure metal, and that term that process is called metallurgy, I think. If you will check, so it is metallurgy or extraction of the metal to the pure form. But in case of corrosion, again going back to the oxides and other forms of the pure metal. Okay, do you understand what I mean to say? So going back to the rust form, going back to the like ore is like corrosion, you can say. Like from the ore, it is a combination of different oxides and other impurities with the pure metal. Okay, again going back to that form is called corrosion, you can say. Okay, like in terms of chemistry, I'm telling you. So it is the unwanted destruction of the pure metallic substance is called corrosion. Okay, then what are different types of corrosion? There are basically two types of corrosion, that is dry corrosion and wet corrosion. Okay, dry corrosion are also again different types. I'm just briefing you. Corrosion. So the unwanted destruction of metallic substance due to the environment or other chemicals present in the environment. So this is of two types, dry corrosion and wet corrosion. Okay. So dry corrosion, again it is of different type. Corrosion due to oxygen. So this is again it may form stable film. It may form unstable film, volatile, it may be porous, okay. So in dry corrosion, there is also corrosion due to other corrosive gases. Corrosion due to other corrosive gases. Not only for oxygen. Okay. If corrosion is due to oxygen, they may form stable film, unstable film, volatile, or porous film. So if it is a stable film, then that is good actually. This prevents further penetration of oxygen to the base metal. As a result, corrosion is restricted to the surface. Okay, in case of stable film. Example is oxides of aluminum, lead, copper, etc. Okay, so the corrosion of copper is less as compared to iron, you can see, because the corrosion due to the atmospheric oxygen with copper, they will form a copper oxide film on the surface and it will not penetrate to the base metal. Is it okay? And when it will form stable film. But in case of unstable film, that is oxides, which is formed due to the metal is unstable and dissociate back to the metal and oxygen, that is that happened in the case of silver, gold and platinum. That's why these are used as jewelry. Okay, so when they will come in contact of oxygen, they will form some unstable film and which is again dissociated back to the metal and the oxygen. So this is not corroded. And when it is volatile, it gets volatile to expose new surface area, and here corrosion is maximum in case of oxides of molybdenum. Okay, so that is volatile. And the porous, so it will oxides of iron, which is very much destroyed due to corrosion due to oxygen. Okay, so this is porous. So now we'll discuss corrosion due to other corrosive gases. Okay, just for example, iron plus H2S, FeS plus H2. Silver will react with chlorine gas, 2AgCl. Okay, so these are the like other corrosive gases. Then wet corrosion. So wet corrosion occurs due to the setup of an electrochemical cell due to the development of separate anodic and cathodic areas between which current flows through the conducting liquid. So this wet corrosion is of different types. Galvanic cell corrosion, concentration cell corrosion, stress corrosion, pitting corrosion. Okay, so what is galvanic cell corrosion? When two dissimilar metals remain in contact in the presence of a conducting liquid, then the more electropositive metal acts as the anode and gets corroded. Okay, just for example, zinc copper couple. Okay, if zinc and copper, this is the conducting liquid. This is the conducting liquid. And somehow zinc and copper both are connected to this liquid. Okay, so here which one is more electropositive? Zinc is more electropositive than copper. So here zinc will act as anode and copper will act as cathode, and here corrosion will take place and zinc will be destroyed with time. Is it okay? Is it clear what I'm saying? So there, in that way, a galvanic cell will be there, and by that way, corrosion will take place. And when concentration cell corrosion you are talking about, which one? Just for example, a metal is dipped to just it is water, and this is the metallic surface, which is most of the part, little bit of the this metallic surface is dipped inside the water, and most of the portion is outside of the water, and which is exposed to oxygen. So the more oxygenated area will act as the act as the cathode, and the less oxygenated area will act as the anode. Okay, the limited access to oxygen behave as anode. So this will act as anode, and this will act as cathode, and corrosion will take place. Do you understand what I'm telling?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Then stress corrosion. When mild steel exposed to alkaline solution at stressed areas, because you know some joint bent, like bent portions, joints in the metallic area, that part is less exposed to oxygen, and when it is exposed to alkaline solution at the stress areas such as surfaces or joints and bent portions at high temperature, this there is also a cell will occur and corrosion will take place. Okay. Just for example, if it is the pipe and some of the pipe, some of the portion of the pipe is bent, it is due to our requirement we have designed the pipe in this way. Okay, so here the interaction of the alkaline solution at the stressed area, maybe the joints of the bent portion at high temperature, causes corrosion. Do you understand? The bent area, the joints, the bent portions, the surfaces, they at that they react with alkaline solution at high temperature and corrosion occurs. Just for example, Na2CO3 plus water, this will give you sodium hydroxide plus carbon dioxide. Okay, this, let it be a iron pipe plus 2NaOH to form Na2FeO2 plus water, hydrogen. So this will form, so this will dissolve the iron, or the corrosion will happen in that iron pipe. Okay, so again the pitting corrosion. The metal surface having cavities undergo corrosion due to the development of separate anodic and cathodic area. Pitting is usually a result of breakdown of or cracking of the protective film on the metal at a specific portion. So this is the pitting corrosion, and this will the poor oxygenated area, this will act as anode, and other portion will act as cathode, and the corrosion will take place. Okay, so now we'll discuss what are the factors which affect corrosion. So corrosion we can discuss in terms of the metal as well as the environment. Okay, if the position of the metal, if we select the metal, they have high very little difference in the electronegativity or electropositive, then also the corrosion will occur very less. Just for example, in the galvanic series, if you choose a metal, zinc, and a metal copper, then zinc and copper, if you will put in the design of a particular metallic substance, then corrosion will definitely take place, because zinc is highly electropositive and copper is electronegative. Okay, so we have to choose the metals present in the present in the galvanic series, just like platinum, gold, titanium, silver. The stainless steel also, chromium. So these are less likely to corrode in the presence of the like other metals as well as the environment. Okay, so that's why the metals platinum, gold, silver, these are costly as compared to zinc, cadmium, and aluminum. Okay, do you understand why the base metals are costly as compared to the other metals?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So then relative anodic and cathodic areas. So which part you want to protect, that you will make the cathode, and other part you will make the anode, because anode will destroy with time. So if you want to protect a particular metal, then you make it cathode by selecting a proper metal which will like align with the align with it as in terms of the electron electropositive or electronegative from the galvanic series. Okay, so relative anodic area and cathodic area. Make the real anodic area more, means like bigger one as compared to the cathodic area. If you destroy also with time, there will be something as compared to the cathode. Means like if the the anodic area will destroy, so make the anodic area bigger as compared to the cathodic area. So if will anode will destroy also with time, there will be similar part of at least a small part will be there which will be as comparable with the cathodic area. Okay, so then passivity. There are some metals like aluminum, titanium, chromium, nickel, which will form high stable thin film, like thin oxide film at their surface. So this type of metal you please take at the time of design, and so that the corrosion will be less. Purity. So please take the pure metal at the time of designing of any metallic substance, so that the corrosion will be less, because impurity present in the metal result in the heterogeneity and thereby help in the development of separate anodic and cathodic areas, and then the corrosion will be severe. Okay, so depending on the corrosion product form, as I already discussed, the surface film, whether it is volatile, whether it is stable, so according to that the corrosion is also can be protected according to the design. And then the environment, temperature, humidity, pH, conductance of the medium are the important environmental factors which affect corrosion. Okay, then remedial measures. So what you have to read, what is corrosion, types of corrosion, and how it can be prevented in terms of the metal design, choosing the proper metal and the environment. Then remedial measures to reduce corrosion, then proper designing, cathodic protection, the same thing you will repeat here, and by using protective coating. And in terms of environment, removal of corrosive components, addition of inhibitor, maybe chemical inhibitor, anodic inhibitor, cathodic inhibitor. So this is all about corrosion. So what you have to touch, what is corrosion, types of corrosion, and then in types of corrosion you have to touch each and every types. Then the factors affecting corrosion and how you can protect, or what are the remedies for corrosion. So this much only for corrosion. So please write it properly and submit before your exam. So I'm not giving you the deadline. So before your exam, when you are comfortable, you please submit before that. Okay? Or if any help from my side for corrosion part, you can tell me now. Then we'll discuss fuel cell and battery. You have to read yourself. Just like that part, I'll not discuss in the class. Only I'll discuss types of electrode and non-stick equation and application of non-stick equation and some of the numericals. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I think before your examination, you will get enough time for preparation, because maybe another how many weeks? 2 weeks, na? Yeah. In January itself, maybe second week, third week of January will complete. And you were asking me the first quiz of chemistry. Let me check. First theory quiz. Quiz chemistry. सर नमस्कार. हेलो. हाँ मैं पठे देछि प्रीति मैडम को आपको फॉरवर्ड कर देबी. हाँ मैं पठे देछि. सर मैं सुना जाउछि. हेलो. हेलो. Student lab quiz. Just I'm sharing the screen. If you will check, you also check with me. सर नमस्कार सर. सर मु पठे देछि से जो पियर्स रो पठे देछि. हाँ मु प्रीति मैडम को पठेछि जोडा मोर तो बीसी ऑफिस रो आस्तिला. हाँ हाँ डायरेक्ट आस्तिला. मु पठे देछि 35 अराउंड नेम्स. आपन को इच्छा जदि कहबे सेटा फॉरवर्ड कर देबे. आगे मु भाबुछि मु एक्चुअली मु जा पठेछि आपन पठे देबे की. हाँ पठो ना दे पठो ना दे मु जोडे देछि जदि कहबे मु आपन शेयर कर देबे. किंतु सेटा मते मैडम डायरेक्टली पठेथिले तो मु तांको पठे देबे. हाँ हाँ आपण किंतु कहि देबे जे मु आज लाइक. हाँ आई एम आल्सो आई एम फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल मो केमिस्ट्री डिपार्टमेंट को फर्स्ट बिलोंग करूची ना तो तेनु आपण कहबे जे रोजालिन पठे देछि. ना नहीं मु ऑलरेडी पठे देछि. से मते कहले आहुरी मागुथिले काली मेसेज करछनी तो मु देई सारे से ऑलरेडी से मन को. तो आपण कहि देबे जे रोजालिन इज ऑलरेडी गिवन बोली आपण. मु आपण को जदि कहबे से सामान्य छोटा फॉरवर्ड कर देथिबी फॉर योर रेफरेंस ओनली. ना जेमिति कि कहबे नाले कहि देबे रोजालिन देई सच्चे हैला. हां हां हां. Students, please check here if any. We have got the chemistry lab here. Chemistry lab response. Students, chemistry lab quiz test 2. But chemistry lab quiz CH1097 test. Are you getting any quiz for theory? Or shall I ask them? No, I'm not getting. Okay. If you allow me, then I'll ask to the concerned teacher.
मैम पहला वाला का तो मार्क्स मिल गया ऑलरेडी.
सेकंड वाला का नहीं मिला ना.
सेकंड वाला तो आज है ना. नहीं मैम हाँ नहीं मिला. एक का नहीं मिला.
थर्ड होगा ना आज.
हाँ मैम सॉरी.
फिर मैं भूल जाऊंगी. मैं पूछ लेती हूँ. Just a minute, because I will not teach from here. He is telling that he has already said in the first theory quiz that will be like there itself it should be. If it is not there, then I have to talk to the person concerned. Let me check first. This is student response chemistry lab quiz test 2. Lab quiz test 2. Chemistry lab quiz test 2. Okay, if you have any any class now, you just join there and I'll check and then I'll let you know. Theory.
Okay, thank you.
Because I'm not getting right now. Theory. I'll check and if I'll get, I'll share in the group. Is it okay? If you
Yes,
do you
ma'am.
have class now? Do you have class now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
then you
ma'am.
please join. You join and I'm searching. If in the meantime, if I'll get, I'll share in the B5 WhatsApp group. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye,
Thank you.
ma'am.